Malta might not be the first place that springs to mind when planning your next vacation in Europe. But where else do you go when you've already exhausted the budget-friendly tourist circuit and would love to catch the sun and dip your toes in warm water before spring even arrives? Malta is a small group of islands, and even though I knew very little about it, I might have thought that it was a Spanish island or something. It seems it's not the best kept secret. I mean, 3 million people visited the Mediterranean paradise in 2024, so I went to find out why. If you're trying to decide if Malta is worth visiting, or if you'll run out of things to see and do with 7 nights to spend there, you'll be happy to know you're in for a real treat. So don't go anywhere, because in this video I'm going to give you 5 undeniable reasons why Malta is one of the best places to venture in the spring months before the rush of summer tourists arrive. First off, let's take a look at what there is to see and do in Malta. With over 7,000 years of history on the Maltese islands, you never have to go very far to see something extraordinary. From jaw-dropping coastlines with sheer cliffs and turquoise waters, to ancient archaeological sites that tell a fascinating story of a land time forgot. You might need to use a boat, jet ski or even scuba gear to access some of it, whilst on land, buses including this charming century-old tour bus, or a small and nippy rental car, bicycle or scooter can take you close up to the rest. Some of the coolest places to visit include the capital Valletta with its narrow undulating streets and spectacular grand harbour, the inland sea which is barely wide enough to squeeze through on a small boat, the ancient temples of Gigantia which predate Stonehenge, and the adorable city of Victoria, the capital of Gozo, with its curious ruined citadel which offers otherworldly views. Kinda feels like you're in Vietnam. Next up is the food. Travelling from place to place in the sun is bound to summon your appetite, which is great because one of Malta's greatest strengths is its fresh and delicious range of cuisine. From quick bites like the divinely crispy pastries known as pastizi, to other dishes featuring seafood like octopus and squid, to heartwarming plates featuring Malta's national animal and favourite to eat, rabbit. Another thing that we always seem to travel for is weather. Malta's southerly location in Europe make it a particularly popular place for holiday makers from March through to May, as sun worshippers seek out a place where they can feel the sun's warmth on their skin ahead of the start of the peak season in June. With that being said, it can still rain, and when it rains in Malta, it pours. Don't let that deter you, however, as although my first full day there was reminiscent of the soggy British weather, it did mean I could visit some museums, and before you know it, the sun makes a welcome return to lift everyone's mood. Up next, I want to talk about the people and culture in Malta. One thing that really impressed me with Malta was the warm welcome I received. People were so genuinely friendly and would serve you with a smile at every opportunity they got, and usually a witty joke of some kind to go along with it. Now, Maltese people speak Maltese, which you could say sounds like a combination of Italian and Arabic. However, English is the second official language, unlike most of Europe. Even though many of the place names and street names were real tongue twisters, there was no need to worry as English is so widely spoken and Google Maps works a treat around the whole island, making navigation a complete breeze. Finally, the value for money is one of the most important factors for many of us when considering a place to spend our well-deserved time off, and I was pleased to discover Malta is a budget-friendly place with food and drinks available from as little as a couple of euros, and main dishes and restaurants ranging from 12 to 25 euros in most places. However, do check restaurants before you ask to be seated, as some are nothing more than a tourist trap of expensive food paired with mediocre quality. I learned the tastiest places to eat often aren't expensive, and those with people standing outside the restaurant waving menus in your face are to be avoided at all costs. If you're interested in some of my cafe and restaurant recommendations, subscribe and turn on notifications as a video dedicated to food is currently in the pipeline, and I'm sure you wouldn't want to miss out on some of the orgasmic food I binged on. So there you have it, 5 genuine reasons why you shouldn't skip Malta, as there's an adventure waiting around every bend and corner, maybe not on the corner. I've only managed to cover some of the best bits Malta has to offer, because otherwise this video would be 20 minutes long, and I'd rather save it for future videos where we'll delve deeper into the activities, locations, history, and some of my favourite tips and tricks to maximise the fun you can experience on your very own Maltese adventure. I want to thank you all for making it this far. I'm Baker Wild, have yourself a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.